Well, the September red meat export numbers are out, and global industry leaders are reviewing the highlights at the U.S. Meat Export Federation Strategic Planning Conference, which is currently underway in New Orleans. President and CEO Dan Halstrom joins us now from the event. Dan, always a pleasure. While we look at these pork exports, up 9% on volume through the first three quarters. Where are you seeing that growth?
Well, Suzanne, thank you for having us. And yeah, I would say it's broad-based growth across many parts of the world. The leader, without a doubt, the star of the year has been Mexico. Mexico has been setting records all year, and this month of September is no exception. So it's really exciting because it's broad-based growth in a lot of sectors. It's not just retail. It's not for just food service. It's all of the above in Mexico and other parts of Latin America as well. You look at a country like Guatemala is also setting some records on their imports from the U.S. So yeah, the pork side is very exciting. There's a couple of other areas of the world as well. Taiwan and Australia as well are setting some amazing comebacks from the last couple of years. And so it's really a pretty good situation on the pork side with record value per head. I wanted to note that as well. It's a little over $63 a head on every pork animal slaughtered. So we're really happy about that.
I know that Mexico also a hot place for our beef exports as well, although beef exports were down 15% from last year's record pace on volume and are down 13% so far this year. So globally, where are the challenges that you see on the beef side?
Well, I think the largest challenges center around Asia, and particularly our second largest market historically the last few years, Japan. We have some really significant headwinds, not the least of which is the exchange rate, where we're looking at a yen that's extremely weak against the U.S. dollar, which of course makes our products in yen terms more expensive. With that being said, you know, we also have a situation where we have Australia coming back strong after their droughts down in Australia, and we have a little extra competition there. But that being said, even though the numbers are down, there's still a high reliance on high quality U.S. beef from the U.S., not only in Japan, but in Korea and Taiwan, and even in China. So while the numbers are down, part of that is the fact that production in general is down. Demand is still very resilient on the beef side, even at these higher prices. So the price, this is a good thing. Price is not the primary concern. Primary concern is probably more about the supply.
That's a good point to make, Dan. We have been talking about that, of course, with that herd just dropping, the numbers dropping here in the States. Supply is a big issue. As I mentioned, I know Mexico, big on pork, big on beef. Other bright spots for U.S. beef exports that you see?
Well, Latin America. It's not only Mexico, but Central America as well. You look at places like Honduras and Guatemala and Panama. They are paying the prices as well. And we historically think of some of these countries as too price sensitive. But I think we're disproving that theory now. These folks in some of these countries are really starting to appreciate quality and willing to pay for the quality. And I think that's one of the bright spots that really shines through.
I guess, and of course, congratulations to you and your entire team on doing that good work and letting other countries know what quality meat that we have here in the States and continuing to make great strides. Thank you so much, Dan. Always a pleasure. President and CEO of the U.S. Meat Export Federation, Dan Halstrom.